Hello and welcome to the Edzorb Law Strategy sessions. In this video, we are discussing QBank concepts and how to utilize the QBank concept effectively depending on the stage of preparation that you are. So the first step that we begin with is dividing which criteria would you belong to. The first criteria is, are you a beginner? Are you midway through your preparation? Or are you a mature aspirant into this preparation? Now, if you are new to the judicial services preparation and you haven't covered enough of the syllabus, you're probably in the initial phases trying to go through Bareacts, you probably fall into the beginner stage. You are midway through your preparation if proportionally you have covered some part of the subjects over 6 months or 8 months or 1 year of preparation time, while you are still lagging behind to completion. Remember that completing a subject cannot be defined by completing Bareacts. You must be going through all the past year papers, whether it is prelims or mains. You must have gone through question banks. You must have given few mock tests. Your conceptual clarity should be in depth and it shouldn't just be mugging of Bareacts. You should remember case laws and the effort of adding value to these subjects so that you get an edge over another candidate. So out of these, if you think you've only gone through Bareacts or few subjects, you can consider yourself midway through. Or if you've only solved questions of few subjects, you are halfway through your preparation. The third category is a mature aspirant who I would consider has cleared either one or both stages of the examination in one or more states. Now you are familiar to, you have been exposed enough with the examination, you already know what key areas are, you know what to revise, you just need to get additional feedback and revise better. Now the first step for you is to identify which category you belong to, and please feel free to navigate through the timeline and go to the area which specifically discusses your approach with QBank concepts. I am going to start with the beginner level and roughly jot down what you need to do. You should take care of a 60-day plan. In the 60-day plan, the first 20 days, you are just going to attempt to build an endurance to solving questions, which mostly people avoid or procrastinate for the very end. First and foremost, for the first 20 days, go for 60 QBank concepts per day. Divide it in 2 slots, 30 questions probably in the morning, 30 questions probably towards the evening. Each question, remember, you are not solving MCQs. Your effort does not end at finding out whether the answer is A or B, but you need to spend additional 2 to 3 minutes to understand the logic, to try and memorize the concept for future. So it should take 2 to 3 minutes per question. So considering this, 1.5 hours in the morning and 1.5 hours in the evening should be good enough to start off with in the first 20 days. The next step would be day 21 to day 40, in which you must enhance this to 80 to 90 QBank concepts per day. Hopefully, since you have built an endurance of 20 days, now you may be able to cover every concept in 2 minutes or so. Your net division should be 40-45 questions in the first half in 2 hours and 40-45 questions in the second half, again 2 hours. So 4 hours of QBank from day 21 to day 40. Day 41 to day 60 is your last aggressive slot, and in this you may want to cover 100 plus questions. If you have 100 plus QBank concepts, within these 20 days, you would have covered 2000 QBank concepts. And within these 60 days, what you have done is you have solved 5000 QBank concepts. You know what topics are important to prioritize in the exam. So you've gained familiarity of the high yielding topics, number one. Number two, you have saved time of additional research of case laws, of reading and referring to Bareacts. You have all of it together in your modules and you are visually learning it so you retain it better. Number three, you have to jot down the important 1 to 2 liners of the questions that you're making mistakes in. Now, jot down 1 to 2 lines in a separate revision book. This is your last week revision book that is going to be handy to revise towards the end. Number 4, visual learning needs to be taken advantage of. Remember in school when you would be sitting in the examination and you just don't get that concept right and you're thinking through, and what you remember is a page, a pictographic memory of one of the pages of your notes, and you feel, I'm not quite getting the word, but I think I have highlighted it on the left top corner of a page in yellow. Now that is pictographic memory, and that is where visual learning comes into play. If you are spending enough time to glance at the comical illustrations that we've provided, at the visual representations, examples, the simplification of Bareacts that are provided, you are much more likely to retain this in the exam, and it will not disappoint you when you need it. Do not try to make extensive notes from the QBank. QBank concepts are already briefly concised notes of everything you need for judicial services. Now, as a beginner, one thing that you need to be careful of, to not try and complete all concepts, all subjects with absolute perfection. That would be trying to do the impossible. Get exposed to more and more questions, more and more topics within the first 2 months. Now, if you're midway through your preparation, the essential strategy for you changes. You need to make 2 columns, and you can follow the column that I'm writing down. The first column is subjects in order from most enjoyable to least enjoyable. Most people have IPC, evidence, constitution, contracts over here. Suit yourself and be honest with this column. And the second column that you need to create is subjects in the order of completeness, from most complete to the least complete subject. Now, you are free to start from whichever subject you feel like in the QBank concepts, but we recommend taking 2 subjects in a week. One for the morning hours and one for the evening hours. If you're a night person, suit yourself and personalize. The morning hours should be the subject that are least complete. These subjects are going to require a basic effort and will yield you more marks. So you want to get them covered on time. The second half of the day, on the contrary, you may want to stick to enjoyable subjects and keep the speed going rather than stressing yourself out with difficult, bulky subjects throughout the day. The afternoon hours or times of the day where you don't feel as efficient, you may want to skip to a passive reading format, glimpse through flashcards. You have case law flashcards, PYP flashcards, legal updates, mind maps, Edzorb treasures for GKGS, go through PDFs of local laws, listen to voice chats, listen to videos, get inspired by topper interviews, go through translation summary papers, try essay writing, etc. Pick up a couple of tasks and get it done, but keep going throughout the day. Another suggestion would be to involve yourself in a group discussion with reliable friends. Now for you, 100 QBank concepts per day for the first 30 days, which should increase to 150 QBank concepts in the next 30 days. So overall, after the end of 60 days, you have 3000 plus 4500 QBank concepts thorough with you, ready on a revision book. The concept of revision book remains the same. The only difference is ensure charting down the 1 to 2 lines from the questions that you're getting wrong. Go and have an in-depth reference of the Bareacts of these questions from the simplified notes that are provided by Edzorb Law platform. Moving on to the category 3, if you are a mature aspirant, you need to make sure that the time you utilize is only for value additions to just get that additional edge with other candidates. The objectives of the question bank for you is to filter out the value additions to just get that +1 additional edge on your mains answer writing from other candidates. So objective number 1 is filtering out value additions. Objective number 2 is charting down subject interlinkages or current affair interlinkages mentioned in these QBank concepts. The third objective is to have a better applicative understanding of Bareacts wherever deficient. The fourth objective is to keep your revision book as short as possible, very concise, summarized, and to plan down multiple revisions of these weak areas and then work on the presentability of these topics in your mains answer writing. I don't have to tell you, you already know that you are revising the same topics again and again. QBank Concepts is an aiding and a facilitating module for you. You must target 200 to 300 QBank concepts per day and should exceed as and when the examination gets closer. That is pretty much the basics of how you can utilize QBank effectively depending on your stage of preparation. Do not forget to address your queries on the comment section. If you think you gained anything from this video, hit a like and consider subscribing for more strategic guidance on Edzorb strategy sessions. Till then, take care, stay safe, bye-bye.